All right, listen up, fellow dogs. We need to have a serious conversation. You ever watch your human drag out those weird rolling boxes, toss their clothes in like they're escaping something, and then, just like that, they're gone? You get the dreaded pat on the head, the "be a good boy." And the next thing you know, you're stuck at home with some dog walker who smells like other dogs. Or worse, you're in one of those so-called boarding facilities, which is basically jail, but with slightly better snacks. But what if I told you that you don't have to be left behind? What if your human could take you on their adventures? No more waiting by the door, no more sad puppy eyes, just you, your human, and a first-class trip where you are the VIP. Sounds good, right? Well, it's totally possible if your human knows the rules. And let's be honest, they probably don't. Humans are great at giving belly rubs, but when it comes to travel planning, absolute disasters. That's why I, Max, am here to help you out. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how we dogs can travel with our humans the right way, whether it's by plane, boat, or something called an RV, which is basically a tiny moving house. Stick with me and I promise you'll never have to see your human leave without you again. Understanding the rules. Are you a VIP or a stowaway? All right, first things first. Who are you? No, I don't mean your name. I mean, what kind of traveler are you? Because believe me, the airlines care a lot about labels. And if your human doesn't figure this part out ahead of time, they might end up leaving you behind. Trust me, that's not a mistake you want them making. So here's the deal. There are 3 types of traveling dogs, and where you fit determines everything. Where you sit, whether you need a ticket, and whether or not you get to stretch out or end up in a tiny cramped carrier under a seat like a common duffel bag. First up, we've got the service dogs, and let me tell you, these guys have the ultimate VIP status. If you're a service dog, you get full access. You fly for free, you sit wherever your human is, and nobody can tell you otherwise. But before you start getting ideas, being adorable isn't enough. A service dog needs to be trained to perform an actual life-improving task for a disabled human. If you're out here just providing emotional support, airlines aren't going to buy it. They'll smile, they'll nod, and then they'll charge your human a pet fee and tell you to enjoy the underseat luggage experience. Next up, the psychiatric service dogs, PSDs. Now, you guys get the same VIP treatment as regular service dogs, but your job is focused on helping humans with mental health conditions. Again, training is required. Just being a good listener doesn't count. You need to actually perform tasks that help your human function. And then there's the group that used to have it good, emotional support animals, ESAs. Look, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the golden days are over. A few years ago, you guys could ride in the cabin for free, but not anymore. These days, unless you're a trained service dog, you're being treated like any other pet. That means a carrier under the seat, a pet fee, and a whole lot of human paperwork to make it happen. Oh, and for my regular good boy travelers, you guys are basically cargo now. Small dogs can sometimes ride in the cabin, but bigger guys. You might end up in the belly of the plane, which, if I'm being honest, is not the luxury travel experience you deserve. So let's make sure your human picks the right airline before they go clicking that Book Now button like a fool. Best airlines and cruise lines for dogs. Not all airlines treat us with the respect we deserve, and some barely tolerate us. But if your human is serious about taking you along for the ride, they need to be smart about their choices. For smaller dogs who can fit in a carrier, JetBlue, Delta, and Alaska Airlines tend to be the best options. They allow dogs in the cabin for a fee, and, get this, some even let your human earn frequent flyer points for you. That's right, We can get rewards for traveling, which is only fair considering we make their lives better in literally every way. If you're a bigger service dog and need some actual legroom, American Airlines and United are your best bet. More space, fewer arguments with the flight attendants, and a generally smoother ride. Now, let's talk cruises. Because if your human thinks they're just going to hop on a boat and bring you along, they've got another thing coming. The sad truth is, almost no cruises allow dogs, except for one. The holy grail of dog-friendly cruises, Cunard's Queen Mary 2. It's the only one with a legit kennel on board, but here's the catch: those spots book out fast. If your human isn't planning months in advance, they can kiss that dream goodbye. Paperwork and certification, because humans love forms. All right, let's get into the most frustrating part of this whole thing: paperwork. I know, our job is to eat, sleep, and be adorable, not shuffle through documents, but if your human screws this up, you're staying home. Service dogs and PSDs, you've got it easy. No official certification is required, but airlines will ask your human for a .service animal form to confirm you're trained and well-behaved. Some flights, especially international ones, might also need a vet health certificate, so tell your human to get that sorted. If you're an ESA or a regular pet, get ready for some hoops. You'll need a reservation, a pet fee, which is honestly insulting, and a travel crate that fits under the seat. No exceptions. Try to slip in without one. You're getting denied at the gate. International travel? It's a nightmare. Some countries require a rabies test months in advance. Others slap you with quarantine time the second you land. Imagine finally getting to your destination only to be locked up in a doggy detention center. Not happening. The key here is planning ahead. Your human needs to check every single country's rules before they book a thing. Final words of wisdom. Don't let your human screw this up. So here's the bottom line, dogs. Traveling with your human is 100% possible, but they have to do it right. First, make sure they know your status: service dog, PSD, ESA, or just an extremely well-traveled companion. That one detail changes everything. Second, they need to book the right airline or cruise. If they don't, you could end up stuck under the seat or, worse, at home watching their Instagram stories. And third, paperwork. If they don't get it together, they're leaving without you. And honestly, that's unacceptable. If your human needs expert help planning a pet-friendly trip, send them over to KenKruises.com. They'll get it right so you don't have to worry about any of this nonsense. Now, go remind your human who's really in charge of this trip. Oh, and don't forget to grab our free travel guide. It's really great with tips just like in this video. I wrote it all, of course.